Good afternoon, Cedarfield family. I hope all is well with you here on March 10th, here at 3 o'clock. If you're listening to this broadcast live, we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And again, thank you to those that are listening to this video tonight. Cedarfield, maybe residents and certainly team members, Cedarfield team member family members, Pinnacle Advantage members, and or families around the world. For those of you that have loved ones living here, we thank you for taking time out of your busy Wednesday evening. Today's format is very simple. You have yours truly here to talk about 5 particular topics. 1, just to talk about the Cedarfield situation as it relates to COVID-19. 2, to talk a little bit about the vaccine distribution. 3, which is probably what everyone's tuning into for today, which is our evolving preparedness plan. Couple of operational updates, and then 5th, round out with any frequently asked questions. Our first, as it relates to the Cedarfield situation, very simply, great news to continue to share that the Cedarfield dashboard is green across the entire community, both independent living, assisted living, and healthcare for any resident and or team member. So keep up the good work, stay vigilant. What we're doing is working and working very well. As it relates to the COVID-19 vaccine distribution, here are our final numbers, those of you that are interested in the data. Of the team members, we provided a vaccine for 77% of the Cedarfield team. For those residents that live in the independent living part of our community, whether it's the main building or the cottages, we have a 99% participation rate. For those residents that live in the health services portion of our community, so all 3 levels of care, memory support, assisted living, and healthcare, we are at 99.5%. That meaning there's one particular person who still needs a second dose. Pinnacle Advantage members, we're at 95%. And then we provided the vaccine for another 85 people, which makes up a combination of folks, contractors, private duty personnel, hospice folks that come on to the community routinely. So another 85 people. So it was just a great 6 in all. We had 6 clinics. Walgreens was very happy with our preparedness, mainly thanks to Matt Dameron and Renee Langley, who were at the helm of organizing these 6 particular clinics. When Walgreens left us last Friday at 5 o'clock, Britton, the lead pharmacist, said to us, quote, "We'll see you in the fall for the booster shot." So hopefully all that comes true. We can again partner with Walgreens. We treated them very well. And again, I just want to thank everyone that's listening for your part in treating the Walgreens pharmacists with dignity and respect, and giving them a big hearty thank you for being at the end of the supply chain in delivering these vaccines to us. Your thank you delivered to them went a long way in terms of planning out these 6 particular clinics. Second thing I just want to talk about is the evolving preparedness plan. This is the caution segment of our live chat, mainly due to the CDC coming out with guidance here, and I'm going to talk about that guidance here in a few minutes. But oddly, I just want to mention one thing. I received 22 text, phone calls, or emails that had this very similar theme to it. The CDC has said that the global pandemic is now over. And I'm here to tell everybody that could be furthest from the truth. That is not what the CDC has said over the last 2 days. We are still in the middle of a global pandemic. I just checked the stats of how many people in the United States have had their second shot and 2 weeks have gone past their second dose. And that percentage rests at 11% right now in the United States. So I know that almost 94% of us here at Cedarfield have a better confidence level because we have done our part to participate in this vaccine distribution. We all have a different level of courage and thankfulness due to the fact that we had the vaccine. But we still absolutely have to practice vigilance with our Cedarfield shared values and our public health preventative measurements in order to keep everyone safe. So I'm gonna unfold that a little bit here. The CDC indeed did give guidance here in the last couple of days, and I'm going to list out that guidance. As it relates to the general public, what they have not issued, the CDC has not issued specific guidance for nursing homes, assisted living communities, and independent living communities such as Cedarfield. They have not done that. In fact, what the CDC really relies on is the state government and the Virginia, or in our case, the Virginia Department of Health, to take that guidance and apply the guidance specific to our region. And so yesterday, the governor did not make any restrictions. He did not lift any restrictions for the Commonwealth. And the Virginia Department of Health and our Henrico district also has not lifted any restrictions that they have in place. And so Cedarfield, we rely on the partnership specifically with the Virginia Department of Health to review our evolving plan. If you go back and look at most of our memos that we have posted over the last year, you'll see a reference of CDC and the Virginia Department of Health listed in most of those memos, and that's because we take our guidance mainly from the Virginia Department of Health, who's also using the CDC reference. So again, the CDC did not say over these last 2 days that the global pandemic is over. What they did say, as science continues to evolve and more people are being vaccinated, that they will continue to provide more guidance to help fully vaccinated people safely resume to more activities. And more specifically, they talked about 3 bullet points. Number 1, that you may visit with other fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing masks or staying 6 feet apart. So they did say that, although they did not give guidance to nursing homes, assisted living communities, or independent living communities. The second bullet point they said is visit with unvaccinated people with other households indoors without wearing masks or staying 6 feet apart if anyone in the other household is at a low risk for severe disease. But again, they did not say that this applies to nursing homes, assisted living communities, or independent living communities. And then the third main bullet point they referenced was refraining from quarantining and testing if someone that's vaccinated does not have symptoms of COVID-19 after contacting someone who has had COVID-19. And so we're actually applying that practice here at Cedarfield, given the guidance from the Virginia Department of Health. A person is considered fully vaccinated only when 2 weeks have gone by after receiving the last required dose of either a Pfizer vaccine or a Moderna vaccine. And really, quite honestly, after we really do see much progress in the United States and here locally of the acceleration of these vaccine clinics. The CDC, again, estimates that about 11% of the United States population has been fully vaccinated with either one of those FDA approved vaccines for emergency use. So while this guidance that the CDC published this week is a great step forward, I guess we could all agree to that. My caution to everyone is our population is where most of this unease and the panic of this whole pandemic started with in communal settings. And now is not the time to just forget about all of our public health preventative measures that have really kept us safe up until this point. We want to be more vigilant now than ever because only 11% of the population is vaccinated. And more importantly, while the trial Wow. It's allergy season, everyone. And my allergies are kicking in big time. So where was I? Oh, so the fact that this guidance from the CDC is a huge step forward, one of the things that the epidemiologists have been talking with me over the last couple of weeks about is relaying to the residents of Cedarfield just to keep in mind that the effective rate for that trial, those 30,000 people, in general was 95%. However, the other thing we want to consider is that vaccine in each individual provides a different effective rate. So we don't know for sure that every person here at Cedarfield, both residents and team members alike, have a 95% effective rate. Only 41% of the 30,000 people in the Pfizer vaccine trial were ages 58 to 89. And of that age demographic, less than 5% of that age bracket were involved in the vaccine trial that were over age 70. So there's not really a lot of data that's actually public data. There is still a lot of research going on about the effective rate for people 65 years of age and older. So we're going to approach this very cautiously here throughout March and April. We're still going to practice our shared values. We really do need to wear masks. We still need to stay 6 feet apart. And we really still need to practice great infection control here at Cedarfield. The last thing we want is another outbreak. I know that many of you don't want that, and I certainly don't want another outbreak here at Cedarfield. The good news is the Cedarfield COVID-19 preparedness team, which consists of about 8 team members and 2 residents, met yesterday to go over our Cedarfield preparedness plan. We went line by line in every department and neighborhood, and yours truly will publish that plan to the independent living residents tomorrow morning. Hopefully I can get that out before 9 a.m. I am without Renee Langley, so it's been a little challenging of a week here, but my goal is to get that plan out to every independent living resident by 9 o'clock tomorrow. Similar to what we published before Thanksgiving, very similar plan. So it shows everybody the maximum number of participants in a fellowship hall. It goes over what we're doing in dining services and every department. So look forward to that publication coming out tomorrow. And those that have a loved one in healthcare, assisted living, and memory support, Matt Dameron is here, and he can reference the publication of that plan when he gets up here in a couple of minutes. In terms of the COVID-19, let me take a step back. So again, just caution. I know it's hard. I know we all feel that we have the vaccine and that we should really dissolve our preparedness plan. But again, I've done some consulting with folks, residents here, team members, the Virginia Department of Health, the epidemiologists, and some consulting outside of our organization. And I really feel that it would be in our best interest to proceed with caution and to continue to layer things in week by week. We're going to keep looking at it week by week. This team meets weekly and determine, given the guidance that what is coming out, to safely layer things back in through the spring and into the early part of the summer, so that we're going to keep everybody safe and well, and that we can continue to celebrate the rest of the year. In terms of the COVID-19 testing clinics, as I had mentioned last week, the first one went great. There were 76 people that attended that testing clinic. Thank you, Ann Hopper, Brian Burton, and Bonnie Berry, Lori Shepard for helping facilitate these clinics. Today they facilitated the second clinic, and there was 29 people that attended. And out of the 100 or so people, a little over 100 people that have come in those 2 clinics, we have had 0 positive cases, so that's just great. Couple of operational updates. The household building, we are on target still to have our grand opening series of grand openings on the week of April 12th. We're very excited. We intend to have, a series of mini grand openings starting probably on the 12th with a dignitary grand opening for including the governor. We're expecting a call back from the governor here this afternoon. And then over the course of that week, we intend to have every resident and every team member cycle through this beautiful brand new building, a transformational building that will revolutionize long-term care, along with our organizational redesign and all of our other culture change initiatives. People will be looking to us in the city of Richmond to look forward to their own organization and how they can move away from the institution and get back what was intended when nursing care was started back in Pennsylvania in the 1800s with creating home in a long-term care setting. So those grand openings are being reviewed, the dates and times tomorrow, and we hope to get something published early part of next week so people can plan accordingly about those grand opening dates. Paving is a big capital project that's happening right now, particularly today around the new household building. They intend to mill, repave, and stripe before the sun sets in and around that new building. And then starting on Sunday, weather dependent, I know it looks like next week we're going to get a fair amount of rain. I have not heard yet from the paving contractor that we are proceeding or canceling with the paving project for all of next week. So as soon as I hear word, you will be the first to know, I promise. They do owe us a call tomorrow morning by 9 a.m. to give us a status update of the paving around the main building on the east side and all of the lane that we hope to commence next Monday. One frequently asked question around this paving: does this paving include all of the parking spaces underneath the covered parking? And the answer is yes, it does. One more thing on flu shots. Just wanted people to know that hot off the presses, speaking of vaccinations, we just ordered an hour ago a flu shot for every resident, every team member, every Pinnacle Advantage member for this entire community. And so that order has been placed. And if you are one that typically might have gotten that flu shot somewhere else, you can be rest assured that at least the order is in. And as that order cycles through the supply chain here in the next couple of months, we'll keep people updated. Last thing for me on an operational update, there was a few residents and team members and I on Monday that talked about bird feeders, the hot topic around the community. And there is a subgroup of people that are meeting to develop a policy. I am included in that group. And so we should have a policy, not just about bird feeders, but we should have we're going to have a policy that really encompasses a little bit more broader of a context around this particular topic here in the next week or so, which we believe is a fair policy that talks about a variety of issues for people that live in the main building and live in the cottages. And so just wanted to give everybody an update on that. Okay, next up is Matt Dameron, our Associate Executive Director. He'll give us a little update on the health services portion of our community.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Michael said, my name is Matt Dameron. I serve as the Associate Executive Director here at Cedarfield, and I just have two updates for you. The first is in reference to the preparedness plan that Michael was referencing just a few minutes ago as far concerning memory support, assisted living, and our healthcare center. So we have updated those plans. Again, like Michael said, it looks very similar to the plans that were published right around the Thanksgiving time. But that was a little while ago, so we want to get those in the hands of everyone so they kind of know what our processes are right now, especially in regards to visitation. So the household and clinical leaders will have those. I will get those to them hopefully by the end of the day today, so that they can send those plans out to the residents and the family members tomorrow at some point. So be on the lookout for those. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about and give you an update on is our mock survey for our healthcare center. I mentioned this a few weeks ago on this live chat that it was coming up and that I would be more than happy to give you an update after that survey process took place. So here we are. The survey was a mock survey. We contracted with the Child's Healthcare Consulting Group, who is very familiar with Cedarfield, has been here many times in the past, and worked with our company as a whole at our other locations as well. They were here from Tuesday, March 2nd, through about noon on Friday, March 5th. So about 3.5 days to do a full mock survey of our 3 healthcare households. The purpose was twofold. To find areas for improvement based on our current regulations, but then also kind of give us a roadmap and find areas for improvement, or as the Child's Group says, areas of opportunity for our future Medicare certification and the regulations that go along with that, so that we can really develop a nice roadmap over the next year as to how to gear up to meet all of those regulations. They conducted an extensive review of resident files, team member files, emergency procedures, infection control and COVID-19 protocols, our general policies and procedures, quality assurance measures, and many other items. And essentially, their goal is to find things and to keep digging until they find items that we can improve upon. And they go much deeper than the typical state surveyors do, which we appreciate because that helps us improve even more and fill in those holes. And I am very proud to say that we did incredibly well on the survey. The surveyors were happy that we were able to keep up our normal processes and deal with the COVID-19 pandemic at the same time. They mentioned to us, they have many clients throughout Virginia, that many of their other clients have not fared as well due to the pandemic as far as keeping up with their regular regulatory process. So I was very happy and happy for the team, that we were able to keep up with everything and kind of do both at the same time. So let's see. So now we have a list of minor areas that we need to touch up for our current regulations. And most of those are, there's a few policies that need to be updated based off of some recent regulation changes. And keeping additional documentation for our COVID-19 screening process and additional documentation for our quality assurance meetings. Very, very minor paperwork things that we need to update. Like I said, they've also given us a list of items to work on that we will be required to meet when we become a certified Medicare community, hopefully at some point around June of 2022. A lot of those things are also paperwork related. There's a lot of documentation when you're dealing with the federal government. So we have to have additional documentation as far as discharge planning, receiving additional documentation from our hospice partners when we have residents that are on hospice care. We do have to make some policy adjustments for our emergency preparedness plan, just our overall emergency preparedness plan, and develop a more extensive and all-encompassing quality assurance program, which is mandated by CMS. So we have contracted with the Childs Group, as I've mentioned on these chats before, to help us achieve those standards. They've been doing this for decades, and they are going to help us through that process to make sure that we're off on the right foot when that time comes. So again, I think the process, the survey went very, very well, and I could not be prouder of the team. With the year that we've had with COVID-19 that everyone has had, and their ability to keep those processes going to really look out after our residents and keep everything in line, I could not be any prouder of the team of nurses and leaders that we have up there. And again, if you have any questions about that survey process, please feel free to give me a call. I'll be happy to talk to you in more detail about that. And yeah, I think that's it. All right. Christy, thank you all very much.
Hi there, good afternoon. I'm Christy Walsh-Smith, and I serve as the Marketing and Sales Director here at Cedarfield. And it's so good to be here. I haven't been here recently, so I just wanted to give you all a really quick update on a couple things. First of all, we've had a couple people move in March. Lou Southard joined the community on March 1st in apartment 164, and Carol Nyman joined the community in 358 on March 5th. Many of you, I know everyone, received a copy of the bios for Lou and Carol, and I just wanted to let you all know that we were going to start doing that. We had a lot of feedback that you all wanted to know new members of the community right away rather than waiting. So we decided that we would share with you a larger picture of the new resident, where they are, and then just a brief bio about them. To let you know a little bit more about the people that are moving to the community. So I've heard from some people that they really enjoy this. I hope that you all are enjoying reading up. And then we did 3-hole punch them so you could put them right in your pictorial directory, right where they go. So I hope you all are enjoying that. I also just wanted to thank you all again for all your support of our marketing efforts. We really, truly had a wonderful year bringing on all of our new residents to the D-Wing and many new residents to the community despite everything that was going on. So we're very proud of all you all and your welcoming of our new residents. So thank you again. In that same vein, I'd like to welcome Amanda Frost. Amanda joined our marketing team 3 weeks ago, and she is our new marketing coordinator. I know several of you all have already met her, and a few of you all have spoken with her on the phone. So I know she's watching, so welcome, Amanda. We're so glad to have you at Cedarfield, and please help us welcome Amanda to Cedarfield as well. So that's really all I have, and Florence Brooks is with us, and I think she's going to give you all an update as well.
Good afternoon. I want to share with you a few things. Some of you may know that the Vietnam Veterans Recognition Act was signed into law by 2 U.S. presidents, designating every March the 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. In that spirit, this year Cedarfield will begin pinning veterans at Cedarfield who served in Vietnam between November 1, 1955 and May 15, 1975. Our first recognition event will happen on Monday, March 29th at 1 o'clock. It will be live streamed via Channel 971, and the veterans who will be pinned that day will be present in the fellowship hall for that event. Another activity we have coming up is called Spring into Fitness. This is a health and wellness initiative by Carol Thompson, our wellness coordinator, and Karen Wilder, Cedarfield's nutritionist. This initiative will launch on Monday the 15th of March at 4 p.m. with an orientation in the fitness studio. Please call Carol Thompson if you're interested in this event. I'll also note that a small group of residents, along with Lifestyles Coordinator Katrin Soltis, have been collaborating on a plan to update our sign-up system for programs and activities. I'm really excited about the plan that they've come up with, and they'll be rolling that information out next week, so you'll know how to engage in that new sign-up process, which I understand involves no long lines. I hope if you've had a chance perhaps to see, if not speak with our new chaplain interns, Victor and Aaron. They will be with us through the end of June, and will be making visits and building relationships with our residents on the licensed side and all levels of care. We're delighted to have both Aaron and Victor with us through the end of June. I do want to encourage you to be on the lookout now that the weather is getting nice for pop-up events. Those will be announced via Channel 970, and as we take advantage of pretty days to entice people to get outside, to get active, and to get connected. You'll just see those events occur as they're announced, and hope you'll be able to plug into them. We're excited about the enthusiasm and eagerness of all the persons on the Lifestyles and Wellness team to engage our residents. I want to shift for just a moment to close out, unless there's do you have questions and answers, Michael? Okay. Then we'll wrap up with this thought this afternoon. This is a poem that I want to share with you by Jane Kenyon called Otherwise. I got out of bed on 2 strong legs. It might have been otherwise. I ate cereal, sweet milk, ripe, flawless peach. It might have been otherwise. I took the dog uphill to the birch wood. All morning I did the work I love. At noon I lay down with my mate. It might have been otherwise. We ate dinner together at a table with silver candlesticks. It might have been otherwise. I slept in a bed, in a room with paintings on the walls, and planned another day just like this day. But one day, I know, it will be otherwise. Sometimes we become complacent in our routines, confident to a large degree in the knowledge that tomorrow will be more or less like today. The small, distinct blessings of an ordinary day may become lost in our lives in the midst of routine and responsibilities. But the truth is, there's nothing ordinary about today. It could, in fact, be otherwise, and someday it will, in fact, be otherwise. Jane Kenyon, who wrote this poignant poem, wrote much of her best poetry in the knowledge that she was dying of leukemia. She reminds us all that we don't need a terminal diagnosis to understand the blessings of each ordinary moment. So I invite you today to look around at the blessings of your life that you may not even realize, knowing that one day it will be otherwise. May you dwell richly in the experience of these moments, these peaches and cream experiences of your daily life at Cedarfield as they are happening. God bless you all. Thank you.